There's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Sunday, March 28th, 2021. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. Investors see Bitcoin haven amid weakening dollar worries. Survey shows 77% of Americans are concerned about rising inflation. Elon Musk's Bitcoin marketing coup. But first, the price of Bitcoin is even, down just 0.24% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 56,013, a high of 56,655, and a low of 55,341. That's $1 for 1,785 Satoshis. Volume was at 3,358 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 95% heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 81%. That's 18 Satoshis for a penny. Investors seek Bitcoin haven amid weakening dollar worries. New York Post opinion. Warren Buffett hates cryptocurrencies. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen isn't a fan either, and neither is Bill Gates. Ditto for scores of great economic minds who call the rise of cryptos like Bitcoin a bubble, and a lot worse. I have my doubts as well. I've seen too many pets.coms in my career covering Wall Street to embrace a so-called cryptocurrency that can't even be used to buy a slice of pizza. What has me thinking twice, however, is what's going on in Washington. If the cryptos are a bubble, what do we make of the US dollar, which is being debased even as I write this?
There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Increasingly, investors are waking up to the reality that massive spending in Washington won't end well. Yes, drug deals are transacted in Bitcoin, and speculating day traders have pushed its price up 667%. You read that right, over the past year. But based on my reporting, it's more than just a bunch of Robin Hood types becoming crypto believers. Mainstream investors are also snapping it up as they become worried about inflation and the dollar. World War II was the last time we had deficits like this, and the Fed intervened to keep interest rates low. There was inflation during the war, but nowhere really to go. Investors today have a greater ability to park their money somewhere else, and that's one of the reasons you have higher Bitcoin prices. Of course, you can raise taxes to plug deficits that have grown to more than $3 trillion and are heading to $4. President Biden plans to do that as well, even if there aren't enough rich people alive to pay down all the pandemic-related debt we've issued over the past 12 months.
There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Some of these trillions created a much-needed cushion for the unemployed, but a lot more went to wasteful stuff. That's why these shenanigans are creating a wall of worry and a rush into what's known in Wall Street as safe havens. Those havens used to be commodities like gold. Now they're cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. A key point of attraction for the latter, according to some, is that Bitcoins are difficult and costly to mine, and that there's a set number that can ever be mined, 21 million, versus the 18.6 million which are currently inexistent. Compare that to dollars, which are getting printed by the Fed with no end in sight as it scrambles to prop up growth and paper over deficits.
There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Survey shows 77% of Americans are concerned about rising inflation. Prices for goods are soaring. Since well before the COVID-19 outbreak was found in America, the U.S. Federal Reserve invoked a number of monetary easing policies. Throughout 2020, the central bank created a quarter of all of the USD ever issued in less than 12 months to help the economy during the outbreak. Despite Fed Chair Jerome Powell and other central bankers showing little concern for inflation, a recent survey shows that 77% of Americans are worried about surging inflation in the months to come. Elon Musk's Bitcoin marketing coup. By embracing Bitcoiners, Tesla is likely to make more sales among that crowd even if they pay in fiat. Any extra Bitcoin the car maker gets is gravy. Here's some free advice for the Honda Motor Company. Market your cars to the newly Bitcoin rich. I guess, if they're going to buy cars. Bitcoin HODLers are not selling. Inactive Bitcoin supply hits 3-month low. The Bitcoin supply that has not moved for 2 years has hit a 3-month low, indicating conviction from long-term hodlers. The trend indicates that Bitcoin hodlers who bought around the top of the last bull cycle in 2018 and before are showing deeper conviction as Bitcoin consolidates above $55,000 a coin. Interestingly, the spike during December 2020 suggests that many may have sold at a break-even of around $20,000 or the previous all-time high in late 2017. Check out shop.worldcryptonetwork.com, where you can get World Crypto Network, the mug, or Treasures Don't Float, the t-shirt. The price of Bitcoin is even, down just 0.01% over the last 24 hours, with a last of 56,085, a high of 56,655, and a low of 55,341. That's $1 for 1,783 Satoshis. Volume was at 3,342 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 95% headed that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 81%. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Until next time, bye-bye.